Hello and welcome to Women Wisdom Wednesdays, where we'll be here every Wednesday, empowering women to connect, inspire, and thrive on our journey to surviving womanhood. I'm Kasey Conrad, well-being specialist and whole life.
I'm Bianca Cartin, and I'm a mentor and coach here at Surviving Womanhood.
And I wanted to express my gratitude and honor for our first guest on our first ever Women's Wisdom Wednesday, my beautiful sister, Colleen Steingraber. So Colleen had been in nursing for 47 years. Yes, 47 years. And she has just recently gone through retirement. And today we're going to dive into that topic of retirement because it holds great significance to women over 40. Women face unique challenges in retirement, and we want to move into this space because it creates excitement for us, but it also creates uncertainty because we're never sure of what our life is going to be like. Because retirement is such a significant transition, not only from a career perspective, but also in terms of our identity, our purpose, and navigating into this next chapter of our life. Colleen, I wanted to say a little bit about her. She's married. She has 3 amazing children. She's married to an amazing man also, who is my brother. And she has 9 beautiful grandchildren. So again, as I've said, Colleen worked as a nurse for 47 years. So Colleen, would you like to say anything else about that?
Just that my career was very varied in nursing. So I did a lot of different things in nursing. I just would like to share that. Worked in the hospital, worked in an office that we built from the ground up, and worked as a school nurse and worked in occupational health. So I've had a very varied career in nursing.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So now we're going to dive in to the questions that I'm sure everybody has about creating this space for retirement. So can you share with us some of the challenges that you encountered during your transition from retirement after more than 47 years in a career in nursing?
Well, I think part of my transition was unique in that I retired just as COVID was starting. So it was a challenge being so isolated. You know, you're used to going to work and just that social aspect of it. So then my journey into it was further unique because of COVID. So that was a little difficult for me. That was difficult. It was winter and it was COVID. So that was a tough transition for me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about like how that affected you emotionally and sort of some of the coping mechanisms that you came up with to overcome that?
Well, it just felt very isolating. Like I said, when you're used to going to work, that's a very, when you go to a workplace, it's a very social thing. You catch up on everybody's weekend, find out what everybody's doing. You're having coffee with people. So then to just be home alone was difficult, but we did fun things. So my daughter and my niece live in the neighborhood. So we kind of were like treated it as our house. So all 3 houses were just, we were isolating there. So that was good. And then with like my family, we did group phone calls. So we could stay up with everybody that way because I was very used to seeing family also. But it was very isolating. So those were a few of the things that I did to still feel like I was connected to people.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
And since COVID and since that period of time has moved on, how is your retired life looking now? And what kinds of things and activities are you doing that's perhaps different than you were during COVID?
Well, I have to say, so, I think some people just worry, how will your life change? Once you retire, how is it going to change? But I have to say, you're still the same person. You are. So what I really appreciate now about being retired is, I had several family members that were going through some medical issues. And it was very nice that I could help with that. I could take people to appointments. I could, help them with their medical questions. And in the case of Kasey's dad, there was a lot of end of life care that I was just to be part of because I was retired. And I always said this through my whole career in nursing. I've always said this: nursing was my career. My real life was at home. My real life was at home with my family and my friends and my loved ones. So, it wasn't hard for me, maybe as it might for some people, to give up that career, because really I always thought, this is where I belong to. This is where I belong.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to share with people. And I hope that some of you women out there who have that sort of deeper feeling, that deeper sense of disconnection when you're thinking about retirement, might now look at the other connections, the more personal connections that you have in your life, the way that Colleen has. That's a wonderful example. So thank you so much. So Bianca, who do we have out there watching us and joining us today?
It is very quiet out there today.
Okay, all right. Good. Okay, so that's okay. This is our very first time.
But I still have lots of questions, Colleen, because for me, it's a period of time, especially that it's something I have yet to experience. So what advice do you have for women who are approaching retirement or even contemplating a career change and things like this? What advice would you have for women approaching that sort of period of phase in their life?
Well, for one thing, I would say have hobbies, for one thing. Have things that you want to do, and now you'll have time to do them. So that's very important, I think, because again, in my case, winter, COVID, I would get up and I would think, what do people do all day? What do they do all day? They're not.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that you have things that you want to do and that you do them, that you plan on doing them, because otherwise sometimes, like I said, mine was a unique situation, but really is very much what do people do all day? And though I got this piece of wisdom from my sister, and she said, she retired before me, and she said, we are so programmed to think that we have to be busy doing something all the time, or we're lazy, or we're not fulfilling what we should do. Well, guess what? We can have lazy days. It doesn't mean you're lazy.
Yeah.
You just take that time for yourself. If that's what you do, that's what you can do. But we as women have been very much programmed that we need to be doing something all the time.
That's a wonderful point. And I hear you. And I think something that we've actually, all of us have discussed, is how other women judge us when we take those lazy days, right? Like if we feel like taking a nap in the afternoon, and you hear this passive aggressive comments like, oh, if only I had time to take a nap.
Yeah,
right.
So true.
So I would like to just kind of put a little note out there to women. If you hear yourself making these little comments or these judgments, just stop it, because it's not helpful to anyone, right? And it can't be helpful to you. So if you feel like taking a nap, take a nap. If you feel like not doing anything all day, do nothing all day. Take that time for yourself, because if you feel like doing that, there's a reason for that, right? We should honor those feelings in ourselves. Agreed?
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
Okay. All right. So now we have, I think, one more question for you, Call. And
Yep.
let's get on to this next question.
So if you had the chance to do it all over again and have that experience of transitioning into retirement, what would you do differently? If anything.
I would have timed it differently. I would have worked for a little bit longer to get past all that, because I would have still been working, in the nursing profession. I would have still been out there working. So, but that's the only thing. But, we don't have that vision. We don't know what's coming. So that might be the only thing I would have done differently. I think if I would have known, I might have just timed it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Very good.
But
Okay.
And the decision I made. And like I said, it's just afforded me other opportunities to do things. So.
Well, we really appreciate your time. I just want to summarize some of the key takeaways that we've heard from you today, and you can add anything else that you think that maybe I've missed. So one thing that I would say is a takeaway that I learned from you today is to honor your family, like your personal connections, and give personal connections as much or more weight than you do your career connections. Have a hobby. Maybe now people who are contemplating retiring in the next few years can now begin to look at some of the things that they enjoy doing and start to nurture those kind of hobby things and learning, try different things and see what they really like to do. So I know, Colleen, you bike. Colleen rides her bike all over the place. I mean, honestly, and I think for me, what I observe is that's kind of therapy for you, right? That's your happy place.
Yeah.
And then also, do not plan your retirement around a major pandemic. Bianca, do you have any other questions for Colleen?
I guess my one question is, now that you have come through the COVID situation, you've retired, and now you're fulfilling your retirement in the way that we all normally would expect it. Have you is there new hobbies that you've had, or is there new dreams and aspirations that you've built for yourself? Now you're in this different phase and you have more time, and you've had more time to reflect on what it is that you want to do or not do.
That's a tough one, because I think I was pretty secure in myself. I don't feel like there's anything more that I need to do. We're traveling, I'm able to, and some people might not think this is fun, but I have grandbabies 2 days a week. So to me, myself is working part-time. I work part-time 2 days a week at home. So at home, it's a bonus because I'm working from home. But I think that connection that I have with my grandchildren is a enormous benefit of being available for them.
Yes, that's priceless.
You get that quality time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So thank you very much. This was fantastic. You were a wonderful, wonderful guest, as I knew you would be. And I, again, want to thank everybody for your patience with this traveling on the road show that we had today. So I just want to also encourage all of you people who are watching out here, whether you're watching us live right now or you're watching the replay, to please add any comments that you have or any questions. We will answer any questions you have. We will pass them on. If you have questions for Colleen, we will pass them on to her. And she is a very generous soul. She will answer them and we'll get back to you. Or if you have retirement stories of your own, we would love to hear from you, because this is an issue that women are dealing with around the globe. And it can be a scary time for people. And I think because of what you've shared with us today, Colleen, sharing your survival story, that it will make it easier for other women who are contemplating or who have been putting off retirement. So again, I just want to thank you so much. We're so grateful to have had you here.
Yeah,
and we
thank
want to
you.
invite all of you to join us every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time US, 6 p.m. UK, and 9 p.m. in the UAE. When next week, our guest is going to be Najwa Albrechi, and she's going to be talking to us about something that lots of women over 40 are going through these days, divorce and becoming a single mom, and the challenges that she has gone through and how she's overcome that to grow her coaching business and her public speaking business into an enormous success. So again, Colleen Steingraber, thank you so much for all of the time and patience. I love you. Mwah. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. Again, I'm very honored that you were our first guest today. Bianca, thank you so
Colleen.
much. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, it's a pleasure to talk to you, Colleen, and it was really interesting to hear your story and what you are achieving. Some really good points for myself as well, personally.
So thank you all very, very much. And we'll see you here next week, same time, same channel. Mwah. Bye,
Bye.
Col. See you.
Bye.
See you soon. See you guys. Take care.